Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that black surface to draw on is no different than white. I've already gone ahead and sketched out my eyes in white pencil. Okay, so this first one I'm doing now is a fox's eye, and I'm letting it go through really quickly. I want you to see that the first thing I go near is that shine, that reflective surface. You need to look at your photo really carefully and find that first, then you put the rest of the details in. Okay, so I've slowed this one down for this next one because I want to talk to you a little bit more in depth with it. The very first thing I do is I get my white, and I've already pre-drawn with the white pencil, I've already pre-drawn that horizon line, because if you look really carefully at your image, you'll actually see that there's a horizon line, but it might be actually tipped up in a circular sort of fishbowl looking shape, because what's happening is it's reflecting off a round surface. So you need to find that shine first with the white. Then the second thing you do is you add your colour. Now, a lot of us look really quickly at an image and we don't see what's actually in that reflection. You actually need to take your time, look into the reflection and see, well, what can you see? Can you see a bunch of trees? Can you see a bunch of clouds? Now, this particular one I'm working on now is a horse. And what you can see in this one is it's a sunset or a sunrise, and it's actually got these beautiful purples and pinks in amongst the blue, and they're reflected off some clouds. So I'm just adding my blue sky in here now. That white that I'm leaving is where the sun predominantly sits, and then I'm going to add some pink and purples in where the actual clouds lie. So you want to get this part right first before you add any other colours. Don't worry about the colour of the eye, don't worry about the colour of the fur until you get that reflection right. Because once your fingers are dirty with the fur, it's really hard, unless you go and wash your hands, it's really hard to get back in if you need to do any minute smudging. So you can see here I'm adding in some little clouds, putting some more white back in. At the moment, from up close, you'll see it doesn't look like anything. It looks pretty silly, but once you get the rest of it in and you stand back, it actually looks amazing. So, you know, this is the main thing you need to take your time with. Okay, so now I've done that, I'm actually getting a bit of black or dark brown, whatever that is, and I'm making those hills really stand out. And being a horse's eye, this is predominantly brown, so I'm actually going in here now and I'm going to start putting in those proper horse eye colours. Again, most of us are lazy. We try and look at it really quickly. Okay, now I've sped it up again, get my black highlights in. You can put black over the black card, okay, it does show up. So now the main colour of the horse eye first, then you add some reflective colours over the top, and then finally the last thing you do is add those beautiful lines that you get in the shape of an eye. So now I'm getting the shading in. Again, with fur is pretty easy. Get your basic shading and your toning in first and smooth it out, and then you draw your hair over the top. You would have seen me do that before with the fox. Okay?
Now we're heading for the show.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the wolf's eye. It's a white wolf. This one I wanted to showcase to you because it actually has the eye turned away from the camera. It's more of a profile view. You treat the reflection and the colours exactly the same. You treat the fur the same. The biggest thing is always look at your reference picture. The only thing that is different with this one is the pupil is actually squashed on a bit of an angle, so it's a bit elliptical. And that's something you need to be really aware of when you're looking at your image. The other thing I like about this particular piece is this beautiful Arctic fox has beautiful colour combinations in his eyes. So really look into the eyes of your photograph and see what colour combinations you can blend together to get that beautiful thing happening. So there he is. I'm going to finish up all the dark points there, put some nice white fur around his eye, and that will really make the eye pop out as well. again, working on a black surface is great for fur because you already have that shadow laying underneath. Finally, I'm going to show you a human eye. Human eye, again, you'd have a lot more blending in the skin. That's one of the biggest difference. The blending would be similar to the horse eye. But enjoy watching this one, exactly the same principle. Biggest difference though is you have the long eyelashes, so you need to make sure that shadow's there. Okay, but again, biggest thing is always make sure you are looking at your reference images.